Because of depreciation, Aston Martins are a lot less expensive than they were brand new, and this particular one is even less expensive because the dealership wants to just get rid of it. I'll explain everything in today's video. I'm going to include a link to the Ram here in Heber's website in the description down below. They're providing us with the Aston Martin. Also include a link to my car buying guide. Let's get right into it. On the passenger side, powering this is a twin-turbo 4-liter V8 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Power outputs are 505 horsepower and then 503 pound-feet of torque, and this is a Mercedes engine, so it's actually pretty darn reliable. The hood on this thing is absolutely enormous. I'm trying to hit 500,000 subscribers before the end of the year. I'd really appreciate it if you'd help me out with that. Now, the silver paint on this really makes this Aston Martin look like a spaceship. I think the lights are another cool design key. You've got parking sensors here on the front end. Interestingly enough, lots of plastic here on the bottom section with the splitter and everything. But either way, this is one sleek looking sports car. Tire and wheel setup is 255 by 40 by 20 in the front, and then 295 by 35 by 20 in the rear. Blacked out brake calipers, and you can see with the wheels, you've got silver on the top. It's this kind of like dark, I would say it's kind of like a black for the center section. I love how the fender looks there, and then you can see the little cutout, and then notice you got a giant side skirt. And since this has pop-out door handles, again, very sleek side profile. Now, when it comes to key fob features, you can see you've got lock and unlock. I love the little Aston Martin logo. Opening for the trunk. But yeah, very kind of like substantial feeling key fob. Now, when it comes to the trunk itself, the lid's actually got a little bit of weight to it. We can also see the original MSRP. But yeah, this is kind of like a hatchback design, similar to the Supra. This actually reminds me of the Supra in a lot of ways, which I know is probably offensive to Aston Martin. Now, this is obviously nowhere near what this is selling for now, but you guys can see here, with the original MSRP, we've got base price of $152 plus all the options. This stickered for $173,842, and it's sold pre-owned, certified pre-owned with 10,000 miles. This has about 15,000 now. For $112, it's going for a lot less than that now. Finally, the EPA fuel economy on this ain't that bad for a V8. Man, this is fancy with the little handle. Very aggressive exhaust tips. I'll get you guys in a clip in just a second. And then I love the taillight design, how it swoops across. That will cap things off for the exterior on this Vantage. This week's giveaway features a limited edition 850 horsepower Mustang Dark Horse, as well as a custom 455 horsepower Bronco Raptor, and $45,000 to cover the taxes on the vehicles if you win. Use code BHC or click the link in the video description or the pinned comment. This will give you 4x entries on any donation, $25 or more. Not only that, these donations go to help both children's and veterans charities. So click the link below. Best of luck, and hope to see you in a Bronco Raptor and Mustang Dark Horse soon. Let's now check out the interior. Again, pop-out door handles. I do need to mention, this has the wing doors where the door kind of slightly tilts upwards. It's not obviously a butterfly door, but it's pretty cool still. Now, there's tons of leather all over the door panel. You can see even the handle to pull in has leather and some Alcantara on it. It looks like we've got your window controls there too. Fancy leather seats with this blue, which actually matches the silver quite nicely. And then to the left of the steering wheel, you've got controls for the lights. And taking a look at the steering wheel itself, of course, Aston Martin logo. You've got giant paddles there on the back, kind of a more square design with some practical controls here on the front to like change the drive modes. For example, I guess I should have probably... Oh, that sounds a lot more aggressive than the exhaust clip I just gave you guys. Oops. Anywho, we've got this digital cluster, and when you change the drive modes, it changes how the cluster looks. And you know, one downside about digital is obviously this is, even now, looks slightly dated. And there's the mileage, by the way, 14,638. This actually has a 360 camera system, which I'm surprised by. And then the infotainment system is actually not a touchscreen. It's all controlled with a little dial or pad setup, so that is a little bit more old school. But climate controls, you can see, well, the actual controls are down below, but the screen shows you what's happening. Before we get into that, I want to mention the dash. Again, more nice leather trim all over. Well, we've got our climate controls here, nice knobs for everything. It looks like we've got heated seats with this too. And see that stuff like the door lock and unlock in the center? That's kind of neat. Now this is a fun style here with the central cockpit. You can see with like the engine stop starts and the transmission select, and then there's physical buttons. This is mostly for like radio stuff. It looks a lot more hardcore than it actually is. And then this is what controls the infotainment system. And then you actually have your seat adjustments here in the center section, which is a little bit different compared to a lot of other cars. Got some cup holders, and you can see with the center console, USB ports inside. Nice trim on the top. And speaking of nice trim, this does have fancy trim on the headliner and everything. No sunroof though up top. As I get out to tell you guys more things, the door handle, that's cool. When it comes to pricing, this is probably gonna be somewhere in the 90s roughly. Reach out to them for exact pricing details, and I'll tell you guys a little bit of a background on this car. So here's a quick backstory on this car. It was traded in at this dealership. Yes, it was traded in at this dealership. It looked like it was probably a downsized deal where the person trading this in, they traded in 2 cars for one, and 2 cars that were more expensive than the one car, you know, combined more expensive than the one car that they bought. So yeah, it looked like it was kind of a downside, which is super common, right? I mean, I've done that several times, you guys know. So downsize deal. From the dealership's perspective, this car doesn't make sense for them to keep because they sell Dodge, Rams, Jeeps, and Chryslers, not Aston Martins. So this is expensive, and it is also exotic. They're just not an expensive exotic. I mean, they have expensive cars, but you know, like you guys remember I reviewed a Hellcat Jeep here. They'll get stuff like that. Like that makes sense for them to have. But something like this, not so much. So why am I bringing this up? Well, that means that I'm filming this video on a Thursday. I'll post it on a Friday. They are going to wholesale this on Monday. So if you wanted to get one of these and you wanted to get a good deal on it, reach out to them. Now, I'm not going to claim they're going to give it to you for wholesale price, right? Don't think that. But I think that they're willing to do a little bit of wheeling and dealing for a serious buyer. So got to get quick with that if you're actually looking at purchasing one of these. And I will say, this thing actually is really cool feeling. I've reviewed one of these before, but it's been quite some time. I can't see past these giant SUVs. So we're gonna wait a second. Not gonna get in a crash with an Aston Martin. That would not be something that I would want for this year. Man, this engine is so, it's a Mercedes engine, but it's so sharp. Love it. Absolutely love it. You know, this is actually pretty, like the seats are pretty comfortable in this. And I wonder if they do double pane windows in this. They actually don't. That's a miss. But it's still like relatively insulated, but you hear quite a bit of engine, which is nice. And where's my, okay, it's right here, I forgot. Yeah, let's change the drive modes. I want to hear that rowdy exhaust. I like the popples. Sorry I didn't get you guys a good exhaust clip, but you know, we try. It's funny, little farm still over there. This is actually a really cool setup. The transmission's super smooth. It's got so much torque. This is actually not intimidating to drive at all. This drives a lot better than I expected because, you know, sometimes I get it, like the price point, but like sometimes these more exotic cars, you know, because they're so low production, things just kind of feel a little bit funky. But this is actually pretty nice. It's not perfect. It's definitely not perfect, but it's pretty darn nice, all things considered. Let's do I just do the paddle for manual? Yeah, I guess I do. That's pretty cool. Definitely gets attention. Definitely gets attention. That is one reason why I personally would never own one of these, because it's too much of an attention grabber. Oh, that's nasty. This is cool. If you're okay with the attention, man, this is a fun. Oh man, yeah, it rips. That is good. Wow. Oh, this is a fun car. This is a lot more fun than I thought it would be. It kind of feels like a British muscle car. I mean, that's basically what it is. It's a British muscle car. Man, this thing Yeah, they were smart choosing a Mercedes engine. Because the power delivery and the sound, I mean, this is great. Man, just pop an aftermarket exhaust on this thing, I don't know, it'd probably be expensive because it's an Aston. So one thing that sucks about cars like this is if you want to do mods, you have to pay so much money because of the badge. Oh, and you can change the suspension too. Yeah, no, we're gonna keep it in soft. It's already firm enough. This is a cool car. It doesn't have that many miles on it, so I don't know how well this will age after, like, you know, 40, 50,000 miles. But at relatively low miles, and you know, it's 5 years old at this point, it's held up pretty darn well. They did a good job with the build. And you know, with the people always talk about leather warping on the dash, just get window tint. If you have your windows tinted dark enough, you don't have to worry about that. This is fun to drive. I do like this. I wouldn't buy one because it's not practical. I'm too much of a practical person. But man, if I was less practical, like one of my favorite cars is the LC500. Here's the deal. If I was gonna keep a car for like 10 years, I'd get an LC500 because I trust that more with the reliability and everything, being a Toyota. But if I was just gonna keep a car for a shorter period of time, this looks better. It's got a little bit more theater and it definitely feels more powerful than the LC with the turbo engine. So, let me know your thoughts on the Vantage.